Spot Training, teaching you to do more anywhere. My name's Josh, and I'm going to be the trainer for your workout today. Today's workout is called cross. Predominantly, we're going to be working on the posterior chain, which is utilized to pick things up and over your head, or as a CrossFitter might call it, Olympic lifting or ollie motion. But it's called cross for a reason. A lot of our workouts today are going to be unilateral, meaning we're going to be using one arm and one leg at a time, thus creating a crossing chain where we end up getting a lot more core support involved in it, and a lot of our auxiliary muscles, stuff that stabilizes your shoulders, your hips, and your knees involved in it. You won't need a lot of equipment today. For a lot of us, we are used to utilizing very traditional equipment like a weight, a kettlebell, a dumbbell, something like that. And you're more than welcome to use it for this workout. In this case though, this is a 20-pound kettlebell and it'll never be anything else. So that makes it kind of rigid, and not everybody has a full dumbbell set to challenge themselves for this workout. But you're more than welcome to use this kind of equipment. Another option that is much more versatile, and I'm going to be using on a lot of our workouts, is going to be a sand bag. This bag has fillers of 10, 20, and 30-pound sandbags inside of it, kind of like those flood bags that you might use if you live in a flooding area. But yeah, I can load this and unload this as I please. It's got multiple handles. There's lots of different types of sandbags available online, wherever you shop for your gym equipment. And because it's so versatile, I can do front squats on it, I can do back squats on it, all sorts of stuff that are going to be related to Olympic lifting, weight bearing workouts. But this is Spot Training. In Spot Training, we promote minimalist work and also working with what you have available to you. Today, I'm going to be working with my Swiss backpack. That's full of papers and magazines, paperback books, those kinds of things. It's got multiple handles on it, but for the case of this workout, if I were to knock out an Olympic lifting motion, the main thing is that I just focus on the form and technique, okay? You can use a tote or anything that you have around it. You can stuff it full of towels if you want to start off with something light, or like I did, paperback books, or even fill it with sand. Whatever works for you. All right, so that's going to be the workout today. We're going to start off with the warm-up. Let's get going. All right, so this is going to be the warm-up portion, and I urge you not to skip it. Warming up's really important just to get your aerobic systems going. In addition, getting the muscles that are going to be involved in the workout ready to work, especially in this workout where we'll be doing a lot of single arm, single leg stuff. Those little muscles that support your shoulder, your knees, your hips, and your back are going to be crucial to this workout, and we need them ready. So we'll be starting off with some pull-throughs. I'll be using my Spot Training jacket, but basically you'll grab about shoulder width or wider, bring it up and over the head, and then back down to your back. You're more than welcome to go as wide as you need to. After that, we'll be doing some lateral shuffles, getting into a squatted position and shifting back and forth. Then we'll be doing some strict press, grabbing our weight, pressing it up and over the head, strict inside of our core and inside of our knees, not recruiting any of those muscles, staying nice and braced and aligned. And then lastly, we'll be doing some overhead squats, bringing our arms over our head, squatting down and extending our back. I'm a little bit slight on time. Oh, timer's over here. So I'll go ahead and get started. So like I said, we'll be doing pull-throughs first. I'm going to grab this guy about shoulder width or wider, depending on mobility. It'll be different for everybody. Keep your core braced. Bring it up and over the head, behind your back. Let's give you a side view. Keep that glute tight, core braced, nice and tall. And keep pulling through your towel or your jacket. I'm using a jacket, whatever you might be using. I'm going to do a few more because I started a little late. After this, we'll be going to that squat shuffle. And place my jacket back on. You're going to get into a squatted position, pushing your glutes back, weight inside of your heels, feet shoulder width apart, core braced. And feel free to go as low and wide as you want. Surprisingly, it's actually a lot harder to do slow. Just make sure you're keeping those knees externally rotated, pressing out, and your feet pointing straight ahead, internally rotated, pushing those glutes back behind the heels, keeping your core braced. Not going to quite go low yet. I'll probably go a little lower on the next few sets. Good deal. All right, we'll be doing that strict press next. Grab your equipment. I've got my little baggie right here. Tighten up these straps. That way they're not all dangly in my face. Keep your core braced, glutes tight, just like you did with those pull-throughs. Press your elbows out in front of you and over the head. Keeping your elbows internally rotated. That way you're pressing through your chest and that deltoid. Nice and steady, nice and smooth. We're not being ballistic yet. We're not doing a million reps. We're doing them nice and easy to warm us up. Ooh, I'm feeling it on the front of my shoulders already. All right, last is going to be an overhead squat. Feel free to grab your towel to help you brace that overhead and pull between it. Up and over the head, brace your core, feet shoulder width, press your knees wide, glutes back behind you. And get a little bit more in view. Feet hip distance apart, pointed straight ahead, knees coming wide as you go down. Push your butt back. Further you push your butt back, the more your glutes will open for a contraction. And the more your glutes open for a contraction, the better quality of the contraction. All right. Going into that pull through next, so I'll just keep my jacket off. Keep track of that timer right there. If you need more rest, give it to yourself. Maybe do a 40-second work and a 20-second rest, or 30-second work and a 30-second rest. Or if you need less rest and you're a cardio bunny, you're more than welcome to take no rest. But I urge you to go through these warm-ups. Again, keep that glute tight and core braced, creating a straight line from your shoulders to your hips. Woo, it's hot in Texas. It's nice and humid out. I'm already feeling that sweat. It's dripping. All right, next up we got that lateral shuffle. Let's try and go a little lower this time, huh? I'm going to go for slow and low. Toes in, knees wide, squat deep. Keep that chest upright, core braced. If you're looking for good squat alignment, check out some of my training videos. I do have a squat portion. This is a lateral shuffle, but the cueing is going to be the exact same as a squat. The only difference is the motion. I'm not going up and down. I'm going side to side. But on the squat, you keep your toes in, knees wide, core braced, glutes coming back. That's what we're looking for. I'm taking it nice and slow. That way I'm focusing more on my stabilizers than I am just knocking out some reps. Okay. Next up, we got that strict press with you, bag, and you, timer. Timer doesn't exist in reality. I superimposed it, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing. All right, and again, keep that glute braced, core tight, nice and aligned. Press with your elbows out in front of you, up and over, internally rotating, keeping those elbows about shoulder width apart. That way you're pressing through your chest and not just utilizing the ligaments and tendons inside of that joint. And if this is too heavy, fill it up with towels. Core brace. I'm going to stop pacing around. I'm just getting anxious now. Okay. And then lastly is going to be that overhead squat. And this is a really excellent motion to warm up your back because reaching overhead pulls your spine up and squatting down pulls your spine down, aka decompressing from both ends. Up and over the head with your towel, core braced, feet shoulder width, knees coming out, glutes coming back behind your heels. Press your glutes back if you want to recruit them. Don't just knock out reps. Nice and steady breathing. I like to exhale personally as I exert force on the squat that would be going up. And inhale as I wind up. If you're a cardio bunny, feel free to do more reps. Just make sure it's in alignment. That's the main goal of these warm-ups. All right, one more round and we'll move on to the primary motion. We'll be doing pull-throughs again, so get back at that towel. I'm going to try for a super narrow width, just outside of my hips. Keep your core braced, glutes tight, back in alignment. Woo! And don't just leave your arms waving around. You want to be splitting this garment, this towel apart. That way you're engaging your chest and your back and not just impinging your shoulders and your elbows. Keep that core brace and keep recruiting that muscle tissue for that nice, slow, steady warm-up stretch. All right. Lateral shuffle is next. Again, slow and low is the goal. So you can warm up your stabilizers in your knees, your ankles, your hips. If you want to grab a booty band for you booty girls out there, more than welcome to. Press your glutes back, put your weight in your heels, core brace, chest nice and upright. Slow and low, Josh. Lower. I'm going to get all Tai Chi on it. I've never taken much of a Tai Chi class, but for some odd reason, it just helps to wave your arms around like you're a superhero. Express your body, express yourself. I've always wanted to be a hero. Low, low, low. I'm a ninja. Oh, that felt good, those last two reps. All right, strict press again, bracing your core in, glutes in. That way you're making a straight line. Elbows out in front. No wider than shoulder distance apart. That way you can avoid working on ligaments and tendons and instead focusing on your deltoid, aka your shoulder muscle, and your pectoralis, aka your chest muscle. Let's get you a little side view. And if this is too heavy for 45 seconds, put some towels in there, make it lighter. Do less reps, there's no rush. Oh goodness, that was rough. All right, last set on the warm-up. We'll be doing those overhead squats. Again, split your garment in half, pulling it through your chest and through your back. I'm going to go shoulder width on this one too. Brace your core, feet shoulder distance apart. Knees are coming out. Press the glutes back. And again, these arms are pulling my spine up. This squat is pulling my spine down. So I'm challenging the extension of my core and of my spine and warming up those stabilizers, which is excellent for Olympic lifting motions. Oh, all right. Awesome. So the guy, that definitely got us going. I can barely tug right now, but that's our warm-up portion. Really important just to get the oxygen going, get the blood flowing, those kinds of things. Nothing that's so rigorous that it's going to be very jarring for your body, releasing stress hormones like you're getting chased by a cheetah, but also touching on those auxiliary muscles, getting your strength involved, so that way when we get to those harder motions, our stabilizers are already warmed up and they're not confused by the motion you're doing, asking you, why don't you use the other leg? Trying to rebalance yourself into your usual imbalances. But without further ado, let's get to those primary motions. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the primary motion of this workout, the power motion, which is going to be the split, squat, and press. Okay, lots of words, but basically what a split squat is a lunge in place like this, okay, and a press overhead. So you'll be working opposite arm to opposite leg, whichever leg is in front. So if your left leg is in front, I want you to load your weight on your right arm. And the big thing is making sure you're maintaining alignment. For the shoulder press, we're going to be doing it Arnold style, Arnold press like Arnold Schwarzenegger, keeping our elbow in front of us, rotating out and pressing up and over the head, keeping that arm and hand above the shoulder at all time. And for the lunge, you want your feet shoulder width apart, and as you drop down, you'll get into a 90-degree angle at both knees and the hip. Check out my training videos on lunges and shoulder press for more direction. We'll be working every 2 minutes. I'm going to start off with my left leg forward, right leg back. I have my bag out in front of me. We're doing 5 to 8. I'm going to go ahead and knock out 5. And since they're concentrated, I want you to focus on ballistics behind it. I want you to try to pop up and almost jump out. And if your feet are leaving the floor, give yourself some more weight. It's 5 to 8. I'm going to start off with 5. Give myself the minute and a half of rest. Move on in the next set. Probably knock out 6, 7, 8. Depends on my general fatigue. And I can already feel my heart rate's getting a little elevated because this is a high muscle recruiting workout. I'm doing a lot of stabilization in my shoulder, a lot of stabilization in my core, a lot of stabilization in my glute, because I'm working with opposite arm to opposite leg, creating a cross kinetic chain. Cross. But yeah, that's a lot of muscle recruitment right there. And even the opposite side has to work to balance out those motions and work antagonistically with the working side. And like I say with previous videos in these primary motions for strength training, we're not trying to challenge our aerobic systems. We're trying to cause a musculoskeletal breakdown, which means our heart rate shouldn't be through the roof when we are on our next set. It should be as relaxed as possible. So if you need more time to rest, go ahead and give yourself 3 minutes. Put this video on pause. If you feel like you need less time to rest, go ahead and hit fast forward, you cardio bunny. All right. Moving on to that other side. Right leg forward, left arm's loaded up, feet shoulder width apart. Create some 90-degree angles at the knees. Gently touch the floor. Explode out. You can see that my bag is bouncing around all over the place. Tells me I need some more weight. Let's go to this sandbag of mine. You're more than welcome to grab a psychology textbook or whatever you've got lying around. But that is the general goal. We want some explosiveness. 10 pounds. Let's add that on. See if that Keeps me from popping up too high. Easy as pie. Like I said before, you know, the sandbag's very versatile. So is the backpack, especially a strong handled backpack. But nonetheless, you know, whatever you've got available, there's something for you to work out with. Got another 50 seconds. And again, if you need more rest, take it. You don't need more rest, well, lucky you. We are not trying to challenge our cardiovascular health. We are trying to challenge our strength. So you should be fully recovered by the end of it. I'm tying a few knots inside of my bag so I can keep these strappies from going crazy on me. In the name of minimalistic work, even though I have a kettlebell, I'm determined to use this backpack. All right, so started off with that left leg and right arm working. I'm going to go right back to it. Let's give a side view on this one. Still, feet hip distance apart. Step back with this back leg. It should be about 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back. You're going to drop that knee down. Core brace, glutes forward. Nice alignment from head to hips. 90 degrees, and the knees and hips at the bottom. Explode and press out, keeping your elbow traveling in front of you. Still bouncing a little. Nope, not as much. I'm going to go for 8. Steady on the way down, explosive on the way up. Oof. My butt. That's another cool thing about these explosive workouts. Some muscles are more responsive to fast twitch workouts because they are predominantly fast twitch muscles. Examples, the glute and the traps, your butt, and this neck muscle right here are some of the highest fast twitch composite muscles there are, which means they respond to explosive motions or heavy motions. That's that got me a little bit more. Focus on recovery. I'm going to steady my speaking out because I'm talking too much to breathe. I tend to do that though because I want you guys to stay informed. We're going to swap on over to that left arm, right leg leading. I'll keep the same position facing out towards this way, towards my timer. Right? Yeah, that's my timer. That way you can guys and gals can get a good mirror view of both sides. Bag's going to be right in front of you, pressing out and rotating out and landing behind you. Feet hip distance apart. Right leg in front to left arm working. Drop down to 90-degree angles. Core brace, glutes tight. Explode. Woo! Oh, that got me. That got me. For reference, I've recorded as heavy as a 400-pound front rack squat, 500-pound deadlift. I don't know what this weighs, but it's enough. Overhead press, 75. I don't think that's 75 pounds, but when you pick the right motions, the right scaled progressions and regressions, you can find something that will challenge you. You can find you can do more anywhere. And if you're not convinced, check out my training videos. You might find some more answers there. Or shoot me an email at joshua.james.cossidis@gmail.com. I want to find the regressions and progressions that will help you fit into this workout. For some of us, it doesn't even involve having a weight. You might have a cane. Explode out of that cane, pressing onto the floor, lifting it up and over your head. If you need a guide, let me know. I'll try my best to communicate back and forth so we can make it through this. Whew. I think I'm ready for my last set. I'll go ahead and go to a front facing one more time. Left leg forward, right arm pressing. Knees externally rotating, feet internally rotating. Hip distance apart in the legs. Clench your glutes, clench your core. Create alignment, drop down to 90-degree angles at the knees and hips. Explode out, pressing overhead, rotating that arm out. And behind you. One. Oh my goodness. My butt. My butt, my chest, my shoulders. I powered through that one. Don't necessarily do that. I'd rather you watch your alignment. Watch my videos on alignment and lunges. They come in previous workouts. There's the conditioning squat and step. That one's all about lunging. There's a training portion on it. Covers the squat and the lunge. There's a training portion accompanying this workout. Going over the shoulder press. Check them out. It's a lot more than just knocking out motions. Because you can knock out motions using ligaments and tendons and that's it. Because that's what your body does. It's going to make something happen. If a mother needs to pick up a car off her baby, body's not going to say, hey, I'm sorry, but your form and technique are wrong. It's going to use that mom's bones and ligaments and back, lift that car up. It's no different for these workouts. You don't want to be working like that. You want to be working in your muscles, using form and technique to protect your ligaments and your tendons and your bones. Feet hip distance apart. Core braced, glutes braced. Drop down into a 90-degree angle. Bag starts off weight bearing in front of you. Rotate out, pressing through the chest and the shoulders. Down slow, explode out. That was powerful. That one was not as much. Looking for that explosiveness though. Last set, guys. Goodness. Stabilization's getting work. I wish I had my foam roller right now. Check out my squat and step. 5. 7. One more. 8. Oh, goodness. Oh. All right. That was the hardest part of the day. Explosive, taxing on your musculoskeletal system and your anaerobic systems. You're not getting maximum recruitment unless your body's asking for a lot of oxygen. Your muscles are asking for a lot of oxygen. And the way you can tell is whether or not you're breathless. Sprinters have the most maximal recruitment in their workout when they sprint. That's why they're so breathless after their workouts. When you max out deadlift, if your heart rate's not maxed out, you probably haven't reached your max deadlift. It's no different for this workout. You just got to put that effort in there. Whatever equipment you've got, whatever weight you're bearing, put that effort in. You can challenge yourself. You can challenge your glutes. You can challenge your musculoskeletal system. You can grow with it anywhere. All right. Let's go into conditioning. All right. That was an awesome little strength training portion. We're going to be changing gears to our conditioning work. This is going to be much more about getting some glycogenic storage, your ability to store sugar as energy, glycogenic storage in your hamstrings, your muscles in the back of your thigh, also your shoulders and your chest. We're going to be doing the unilateral motions again, except much less full body, as we'll be breaking down upper body unilateral motions and lower body unilateral motions. Doing a single leg deadlift for our lower body unilateral motion, make sure that you're bracing in that lead leg, pressing your heel down, keeping a slight bend in the knee, pressing your hips back. And also keep in mind your alignment from this back leg up to your shoulders should be a straight line. If you start to rotate that back leg out like a rudder of an airplane, you'll spin out. Try to avoid that. And then with our weight, we'll also be doing a hang clean and jerk. Start with that weight out in front of you, core brace, chest upright, pull it up and into your chest, rotating out and turning your elbow in towards your chest underneath your hand, then pressing out just like that shoulder press. Again, check out the training videos for more instruction. I'll start off with that single leg deadlift, left leg. Again, I'm driving out on my heel, making sure my heel is strongly and firmly planted into the floor. I'm keeping my chest upright and my core brace to avoid any lifting through rounding in my back. And I'm pointing my right toe straight to the floor to avoid any alignment issues and compensations inside of that body. I'm doing 30 seconds of work and 30 seconds of rest to maintain a consistency with myself. I might change that around later on, but for yourself, you can do 20 seconds of work and 40 seconds of rest, even 10 seconds of work and 50 seconds of rest, or vice versa. If you're a cardio bunny, you can do 50 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. It's all up to you. We're not trying to work with rigid routines here in spot training. We're trying to keep fluid in our routine so that way you can base them around your ability. You can base them around your pacing as opposed to basing them around how much weight is in a machine, how much weight is in a dumbbell in your hand. Just make sure, no matter what pacing you're doing, you're focusing on that form and that technique, putting the proper mental recruitment in there, whether that's a matter of stabilization or a matter of pacing yourself faster or slower. Keep track of that heart rate. I'm at 130 beats per minute. I counted 13 beats in 6 seconds, multiplied it by 10, puts me at 130 beats per minute. That's a nice working aerobic workout. So I'm pretty happy with my zone right now. Moving on to that right leg for the single leg deadlift. Again, base your weight in your heel, point your toes up. So your weight's in your heel. Slight bend in the knee, core braced, hips coming back to keep the back straight, shoulders coming back to keep the back straight. Left toe is pointed straight down to maintain alignment and avoid compensation in your stabilization. Check where my pulse is at this time. $130 beats per minute. Imagine that. Like I said, that's a nice aerobic zone for myself. For this workout, I'm looking for about 120 to 150 for myself. For y'all, it might be different depending on your age. If you're confused, if you want some more direction, check out my training videos. And also, shoot me an email. joshua.james.caceres@gmail.com. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm working out. Hang, clean, and jerk. That weight's going to line up with your hip as it comes up. You're going to tuck the elbow in and underneath the weight, rotating that back, pressing up and over the head, again, rotating out. Try to draw a straight line with this bag all the way up and overhead. If you're using a dumbbell, kettlebell, you might have a little less issue with the stabilization because, well, they're stable weights. This bag is going to require you to take your time, take it easy. You might be working at less weight than you're used to, which is fine because you're going to be doing more muscle recruitment than usual to stabilize that weight. And in real life scenarios, when a caveman needs to lift something, it's not a dumbbell, it's not a barbell. No rock is perfectly even. No deer is either. So a caveman has to use stabilization. And I assure you, cavemen are sculpted for survival. So we're going to keep that in mind. We're going to work with what we have available to us, because you can do more anywhere, just like the cavemen did. Oh, woo, that put my hamstring on fire for that single leg deadlift. See my pulse? $135. I counted 130, 140-ish. It was like half a beat. All right, that's good though. Just trying to keep it under 15. Going on to that hang clean and jerk, left side, straight line, all the way in line with your hip and your shoulder, pulling it up to your chest, catching with that elbow underneath, and make sure to keep your back in alignment, chest upright, core braced, hips coming back, so you get that initial pull from the back of your thigh. Pull it up to the chest, rotate out, up and over. The closer your weight is to your body, the less impact is going to be on your back. If you have it way far out here, you're more likely to round that back. Keep yourself safe first. I did a few extra seconds because I was talking a lot. We'll be moving on to that right side for our second set. For me, it's actually, this is my fifth set. I forgot to hit record again. Oops. Doing more anywhere. All right, single leg deadlift. I'm going to choke up on these straps a little bit to challenge my range of motion. You can always make this harder by putting yourself on a platform or a box. I'll show you an example of that here in a second. That way it increases the range of motion required to touch the floor. Just make sure that if you're going to do that, you don't round your back or your shoulders in order to do it. We don't want to see more distance without alignment. Alignment is the number one key to keeping yourself safe, especially when you're working with what you got around you. Whether it's your dog, a backpack, an aloe plant. Check out Prone. I work out with my aloe plant. True story. Clean and jerk is next. Feet hip distance apart. Think about that form. Keeping your flat back, hips back, chest upright, core braced, knees externally rotating. Bring it up to the chest, tuck the elbow underneath and in for a hang clean and jerk. Hang clean and jerk. Don't forget to check out the training videos. That way you can get some more instruction. Or if you need more assistance and direction than what I've already given, shoot me an email. joshua.james.costas@gmail.com. I think y'all know already. I'm at 130, 140 again. So this next set, I'm going to amp it up and do 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. You're more than welcome to tone it down or amp it up with me. Again, these workouts are fluid. Don't think of things like weight training where it's rigid. You have a set amount of reps and weight. Think about, how can I challenge myself? How can I do more where I'm at with what I've got? That's spot training. Keep that toe pointed down. Keep that weight in the heel. Keep that knee slightly bent. Chest upright. Hips coming back. Core braced. Avoid rounding in the back at all costs. Let's get a few side views. Oh, goodness. Check out those training videos. I'll be breaking down these exact same motions, this exact same workout on myself, because that's what personal training is all about, is correcting form and technique. And anybody who knows me knows I'm never happy with form or technique, even my own. Hips coming back, hips coming back. Weight in the heels. Core brace. Open up those glutes on the way down. Check my pulse at the end of this 45 seconds. I'm sure I'll be worked. 10 seconds. Keep it smooth, keep it steady, maintain form and technique, and protect yourself at all times. Woo! 150 beats per minute, 160-ish. That's great. That's the goal. 45 more seconds of single leg deadlifts. This time on the right side. I'm going to get a side view for the camera. Yeah, this is a good angle. Toes pointed straight down. Glutes and core are braced. Slight bend in the knee. Weight is in the heel. Choke your straps if you need more range of motion. I'm going to get it. Goodness gracious. Oh, that's set 6 for me. Feel free to put this on repeat. Do some more. Neighbors. Last set. Hang clean and jerk, core's braced, weights traveling right in front of you. Rotate in and bring the elbow in. And continue that rotation, pressing out and over the head. Last set. 45 seconds. 15 more seconds for me. Take a breather if you want it. We'll be moving on to our cool down in a second. And don't skip the cool down. Getting that cool down will help circulate your blood so that way you can reoxygenate all the muscles that have been worked over and deliver nutrients to the areas that you're trying to develop and grow in this workout. Again, check out my training video to get a little bit more of a breakdown of the kinesthetic aspects of these chains, aka how you should be moving, what your form should look like, your technique should look like. And again, this is a conditioning portion workout, trying to keep that heart rate in a steady but elevated state. For me, I was targeting 120 to 150. I achieved that through changing up my time instead of changing up my weight. All right, that felt great. I don't know about you guys, I'm ready to cool down. It's my favorite part of the day. Oh, look what I found on the roof. It's a Swiffer. I'm going to use it to help me out with our stretches today. Help me balance these out. We'll be doing some unilateral stretches and isometric positions. Isometric basically being we're going to stay in one position, but we're still going to be contracting our muscles and thinking about that muscle engagement. That way, when we stretch, we are applying it to the areas and fascial lining that is going to be most affected by this workout. So we'll be doing some stuff for our hamstrings, which we used a lot today. We'll be doing some stuff for our shoulders and our chest, which we also use a lot today. Let's get on the floor in a lunge position. We're going to start off with a hurdler stretch. I'm going to go ahead and give you a side view of that lunge. Hip distance apart inside of your knees. 90 degrees at the hips, knees, and core. Drawing in your core, drawing in your glutes. Whichever leg is in front, in this case the left leg, point it straight out and point that toe up towards you. So that way you're pulling your fascial lining from the bottom. Give me a slight bend inside of the knee and press your hips back. Don't round your back, press your hips back. You want to feel the stretch on the bottom of your thigh. If you're rounding your back, then you're going to stretch your back. We don't want that. We want to stretch that hamstring. We want to stretch underneath your thigh. Ooh. Feels good. The hamstrings tend to get tight for a lot of us. I've done some distance running in the past, working half marathons and adventure races. In addition, I've been a bartender and a server, covering long miles and distances in a short range of motion. What that does is it causes my hamstrings and my muscles to grow in, accustomed to that short range of motion. So in order to open it up, I'm looking to the athletes with a nice, strong, long stride, great range of motion in their hamstring, hurdlers and track athletes, hence the hurdler stretch. Keep that toe pointed up, keep that core braced, keep that glute tight and those hips and knees in alignment. That way you're targeting the back of your thigh. Left leg forward, whichever leg is forward, the opposite hand's going to have your Swiffer. Swiffer, if you're hearing this is not product placement, but give me money. If you're not hearing this, it's fine. Keep that core braced. Keep that knee slightly bent. Keep those toes pointing up. That way you're targeting your stretch underneath your thigh and in your hamstring. Oh, that feels good. I'm going to go a little bit forward. Don't round your back. If you're feeling the stretch in your back, you're not properly bracing your core. You're not properly bracing your shoulders and your glutes. Oh. Maintain that alignment. Don't let your hips turn out. I have a tendency to turn my hips out. Everybody does. It's because when we walk, we tend to lead with one leg and scoop out of the other, or run for that matter. In my case, I lead with that right leg and scoop out of the left. You'll find most of you do too. There is always some sort of dominance out there. In unilateral training, we try to fight those dominances so that way you have a more balanced body. And what that's going to do is it's going to give better support for your hips. It's going to give better support for your knees, your ankles, and your back. And in long term, you'll avoid injury, you'll avoid surgeries, you'll avoid impingements. One more on each leg. Oh, ooh, that one's good. Yeah, go for it on this set. Don't worry about touching that toe. I'm pretty close, but I'm more focused on the alignment. Put your head into it. How does it feel? Where are you targeting this stretch? Is it effective in that target area? Ooh, I feel like something's about to decompress in my hip right now, aka pop. And if you do feel any sort of pops, 9 times out of 10, it's a positive thing. Unless it's an impact, that's not a positive pop. But usually it's a case of decompression, air pockets and lactic acid buildup finding their way out of your joint. Go left leg, go. Or right leg. I don't know about y'all, I'm so tired I can't tell left from right. Ooh, this is so good on my hamstring. This is going to be the last set, and we're going to move on to some shoulder stretches, which I'll continue using my Swiffer for. Swiffers are pretty effective, but you'll see a lot of people out there using PVC pipes. A broomstick is fine, a baseball bat, whatever you got. Do more anywhere, you know? All right, so next up we're going to be doing an over-under stretch. I want you to take your Swiffer, travel it down your back. With the opposite arm, travel it under your back. Over, under. Once you're here, don't just hang out. I want you to contract, pulling up with this arm and pulling down with this arm at the same time. This is relaxed. This is contracted. Active stretches, not just still stretches. And this stretch you can do with a towel. You can do it with your clothes, wherever you feel comfortable with. The next stretch, the super stretch, getting deep into that rotator cuff, you can really do with pole, PVC pipe, something like that. Not as effective with the towel. Again, go under, go over. I'm a little tighter on my right chest, so I'm having a little bit more issue with it. Comes from previous shoulder injury. Ow! It's not very comfortable, but I'm going to work on it anyways. Why? Well, taking care of a problem is a lot different than avoiding it. So I'm going to work with this problem child, my shoulder, rather than just let it act out against me and continue on a terrible trend of terribleness. Swap again and contract. Oh. If you can get those hands touching, that's bonus points for flexibility, where none of us are impressed though. I'm kidding, I'm impressed. I'm proud of you for your mobility. Some of us are going to be hypermobile, some of us are going to be hyper fast, some of us are going to be stronger than others. I'm not asking you to do any of that though. I'm asking you to do more. Do more anywhere with anything. And with these videos, anytime. Oh. Swap it back. And, oh, that feels good. I'm starting to cool down. My heart rate's starting to relax. It's still going a little bit, and because of these contractions I'm creating in my shoulders, I'm making sure that blood is flowing where I need the most support, where I need the most nutrition. Last set. Over, under, down close, and contract. Pull between the PVC pipe. Don't just hang out there. Keep those muscles engaged in an isometric contraction, pulling against each other, creating force, pulling up through the right arm and down through the left arm. That way, you're stretching out your muscles and not your joints, your bones, your ligaments, creating misalignments. Instead, you're allowing your muscle tissue to bloom and get more cardiovascular support, more oxygen. That way you can recover faster for your next workout. Because the sooner you recover, the sooner you get to your next workout, the sooner you get the results you're looking for. Recovery and cool down are important. Anybody who says otherwise, fight me. Just kidding, don't fight me. I'm a nice guy. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, shoot me an email, joshua.james.costas@gmail.com. We're going to be going on to our last stretch, the supra stretch. You'll see a lot of people standing around doing this one, and Olympic lifting classes and CrossFit and all that other kind of stuff. What you're going to do is you're going to take your Swiffer and place it behind your shoulder. You're going to bring it out in front of you. If you need to, you can snag it with that knee and grab it with the opposite arm. From here, I want you to get a 90-degree angle in your elbow by flaring it out. And then you're going to pull up with that lead arm, bending this arm as far back behind you as possible. And again, create a contraction inside of this right arm. Don't just let it dead hang. I'll just create impingement. Create a contraction. That way you're getting blood flow into that deep, deep, deep rotator cuff tissue, that deep muscle tissue, the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, deltoids, teres minor, teres major, rhomboid, subscapularis, all those little rotator cuff muscles that you don't really have to know, but do know, contract them. Don't just leave them hanging. Press up against this stretch. Don't break your Swiffer though. Your girlfriend will be upset. And Swiffer, again, if you're seeing this, I think you owe me some money. I'm telling people that you're an exercise equipment now. Really, anything is. Swiss bag. I think you guys owe me some money too. I'm using a Swiss bag for my workouts. I'm going to have to start. I'm going to figure out how to do Nintendo. Sponsored by Nintendo. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be cool. Pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. Oh, again, You're going to take this Swiffer, put it down your back like you're going to do a back scratcher until it's in front of you. Snag it with that hip and knee if you need to and reach across. Flare that elbow out to the side, creating a 90-degree angle, and rotate back, creating retraction. Push up against it with that right arm. This is my right arm. Push against that. That way the stretch is plenty strong inside of that arm, inside of that shoulder, that rotator cuff, and your muscle tissue, and not as impinging on your elbow or your shoulder. Swap on over to the other side. I did it all cool because I'm practiced. Again, you can always snag it with your hip and your knee. Pull it back, bring that elbow out, but pressing up against this bar. Side view. Other side view. Oh, feels good. I'm going to hold this in place with my hips. Check my pulse. I'm at 110 beats per minute. Sounds like a nice steady state cardio workout because I'm creating very, very slight but still creating muscular contractions in these stretches. I know a lot of people think cool downs are not conducive to weight loss or something like that because they don't exert you as much, but they are. You can create a whole aerobic routine around stretches. I don't see very many yogis that are practiced and, obese, because when you're doing those poses, you're contracting muscles to keep yourself stabilized and you're contracting muscles to challenge your range of motion. So, long story short, this is conducive to weight loss. And even more than that, it's conducive to recovery. And like I keep saying, faster you recover, faster you can get to your next workout, the faster you can get the results you're looking for. So don't skip on those cool downs, ever, 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 ever. This is the last one. I'm ready for some protein. That way I can create some muscular tissue growth. For those of you who are looking to lose weight, protein's always a great way to go. Try to avoid carbohydrates for about an hour. That way you can promote more testosterone. Now, if you're looking for performance, then definitely have some carbohydrates, especially if you're planning on doing further physical activity, whether you've got a basketball game or you're going for a run or something like that, and you want to improve your performance, then carbs are going to create glycogenic storage, so that way you can get to your next workout. But those of us who are trying to lose weight, if you stick to proteins, then you are going to utilize the fat tissues on your body to create carbohydrates. It's a little bit harder for your body in order to recuperate, and it takes a little bit more time, but nonetheless, that is what we're looking to do. We're looking to learn and teach our body how to create energy storage through fat for strength training and for aerobic and anaerobic training. All right, that was a great workout. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pooped. My shoulders are definitely feeling a little bit more opened up thanks to all of those stretches, but I can feel little tingles inside of my chest and my shoulders like, oh my goodness, what did you do today? You worked out. My hamstrings, back of my thigh, my glute, definitely feeling the glute from those split squat and press, and feeling those hamstrings from those single leg deadlifts. If you'd like to, change this workout to your own advantages or disadvantages, your own obstacles, I do want you to embrace your failures and embrace where your obstacles are, because that's how you're going to get past them. But don't just hammer through and bulldoze through. Instead, reach out. Ask me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or concerns. You can leave something in the comments section, whether or not it's about my butt crack coming out earlier or my shirt not being big enough. I say to you, I wasn't built for this world. But you can also leave me a comment or question about this workout to tell me your experience, to tell me how I can help you and be a better trainer for you and be your spotter from wherever you're at, okay? And even if you don't have a question, comment, concern, tell us about your experiences anyways. Not just so that way I know about them, but also so other people know about them. You know, communication is a two-way street, and by sharing your experience, you might be spotting somebody else and not even know it, okay? All right, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for coming out. Y'all take care.